Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for today's Super Bowl 55 media availability with Tampa Bay Buccaneers cornerback Jamel Dean. As a reminder to media, in order to ask a question, please use the raise the hand function. And also, if possible, please include your media affiliation in your username. Thank you. That being said, we'll open up with our first question from Jade Mallard.
Jade Mallard from the Amateur Athletic Union. Just kind of reminisce a little bit about your AAU track and field days. What are some lessons you learned then that still apply on the NFL stage today?
Wow, AAU track days. Well, one thing I did learn is like running track is it builds confidence because you in the lane by yourself, everybody can see you. 'Cause it's not like you got a helmet where nobody won't know what you look like. It just they see who you are. So like that builds like a different type of character. And then like just growing up my whole life just doing AAU, I've made it to like Junior Olympics. So I know what it feels like to be on like a big stage where all the attention is on you. And then how you should still like perform at your best when everybody's watching.
Next question will come from Josh Dubow of the Associated Press.
Hey, Jamel, just wondering, as DBs, how do you guys go about figuring out how much contact the officials are allowing, how physical you can play each game? Is that a feeling out process each game? How do you approach that?
I mean, we look at their stats and then we also just get a feel for the game and see if they allow us to do certain things, we're just gonna continue doing it.
Next question will come from Jamie Sa.
Hey, Jamel. Had a question for you about your days at Cocoa High School, playing football for that program. What kind of foundation did that give you? And what does it mean to you to represent Cocoa High in football's biggest game?
I can't say like my years of playing football at Cocoa High, it brought out like a different player in me because the head coach at the time, Coach John Wilkinson, he only pushed you to be great. And then when he seen potential in you, he just kept pushing you until he finally break it out of you. So it's an honor to be able to sit here and represent Cocoa High. Well, not even Cocoa High, but the city of Cocoa, because this is something big. Like I'm the first person who has ever been in this situation before, and this is something that a lot of people in my hometown dreamed about. So like I feel like everybody's probably like living their dreams through me, and it's just an honor.
Next question will come from Matt Matera of the Pewter Report. Matt?
Hey, Jamel, congrats on getting to this point in the season, about to play the biggest game of your life. The last time the Bucs and Chiefs met, you didn't play in the game, and Tyreek Hill happened to go off with 3 touchdowns and over 200 receiving yards. How big of a difference will it be now with you playing in this game? Do you think you could be the X factor and match your speed with his speed?
I mean, I just feel like everybody gonna have all their weapons. So I really don't feel like I'm just that much of a big difference. So
Next
about that question.
Next question will come from Darren Stoltzfus.
I had to unmute myself, sorry. Hey, Jamel, going back to another Coco question. You haven't had the easiest road to get to the Super Bowl, especially with what happened at Ohio State and everything. What was it about that foundation or your upbringing that helped you kind of persevere and get to this point?
I mean, it was mainly the support system because, granted, like going through back-to-back knee surgeries and then having a dream to play at Ohio State, knowing that was like a school that I was a fan of growing up as a kid. And then I just thought that I was going to be able to live my dream. I'm on campus, and then I faced adversity. So it was really tough, but my support system, they just kept like encouraging me and telling me, don't give up. Cause at a certain point, I was asking myself, like, is football really for me? But they just kept telling me, like, look, you didn't make it this far just to give up. So I just like, you know what? A lot of people believe in me, so it's only right for me to believe in myself and just push through.
Next question will come from Anton Bottleson of NIT TV 3 Sports.
Hey, Can you talk to me a little bit about how difficult it is to go up against a quarterback like Mahomes, who plays so much of the game off schedule? There's so much of the stuff that they do to Kansas City Chiefs that is after the design play. How difficult is that for a DB?
I mean, it's going to be difficult because they got a they're very talented on the opposite side of the ball. So it's just going to be a challenge for all of us, but we just got to stick to our technique and be disciplined with them.
Next question will come from Josh Allen of the Bucs Report. Josh.
Hey, Jamel, how are we doing today?
Good.
Just want to talk. You obviously missed this matchup in week 12. What does it mean to be able to come out there with your teammates in the grandest stage of all in the Super Bowl and be able to come out there and try to help, bring a Super Bowl home to Tampa and really contribute?
I mean, it means a lot because, like, what they've been saying, like, it's the Super Bowl don't come often for most teams. So I'm just like, it's an honor to be able to play on a big stage against a team like the Chiefs. So it's like, I'm very excited for it.
Next question will come from Jade Mallard of the Amateur Athletic Union.
Just what is some advice you have for young athletes who want to be where you are today?
Can you repeat that?
What is some advice for young athletes that you can give that want to be where you are today?
The biggest thing I can say is if you have a dream, you have to do whatever it takes to reach it. And that it means like making sacrifices, getting out your comfort zone, and just working. Like, because a lot of things in life do not come easy. So that's why you got to just have that mindset that if I really want it, I have to go out and work for it.
Next question will come from Jamie Sass. Jamie?
Jamel, I got two questions for you. First one's a simple one. Do you have family coming to the game? Are you able to bring family in? And also my second question is, this Buccaneers defense has a lot of great veterans on it. I'm wondering what you've taken from guys like Levante David and JPP and Ndamukong Suh and others.
Well, for the first question, yes, my family will be here. Some will be at the game and some will be at my cousin's house. Like, this is, they only 3 hours, some is 3 hours and some is only an hour and a half away. So this trip right here is nothing for them. And for the second question, like having like veterans like Levante and them, it really like help us, like give us something like to look forward to whenever we get to their point. And then it's always nice to like they give us advice to let us know like what to expect and how to handle it. Cause at first I feel like I'm by myself when it comes to like certain things I deal with, but then when I go back and ask them like, have they gone through the same thing? They give me like a sign of relief knowing that they went through it too. So like, I can see that it's part of the process.
We are currently waiting for our next question. Next question will come from Jamie Sass. Jamie?
Jamel, just, you're 2 years into the league. Have you ever had any pinch yourself moments since you guys won the NFC championship? Like, wow, I'm still young in my NFL career and I'm in the Super Bowl. And do you have any idea of what the intensity could be like on Sunday?
No, I don't have any ideas because back in college, I didn't make it to the national championship stage. So I don't know what to expect. So at this point, it's still haven't like dawned on me yet that we are playing in the Super Bowl.
We're waiting for our next question. Next question from Jamie Sass. Jamie?
I'll just keep going, but again, like, just 2 years in, just how have you worked? How have you gotten yourself to this point where you are a contributing member to a Super Bowl contender, a Super Bowl participant? Like, what's your mindset on the field and how have you been able to contribute, do you believe?
My mindset is I don't want to let my teammates down. The last thing I want to do, 'cause I'm very hard on myself. I don't want to get to a point where I feel like I'm blaming myself for why things did not go as they should. So that's my mindset going on the field.
We are waiting for our next question. Next question from Jamie. Jamie?
Jamel, what's it like to play for Bruce Arians? He seems like he's got some different philosophies out there. The no risk it, no biscuit. How contagious is his energy and that philosophy on you guys?
I mean, I love his energy. Ever since I first met him last year, I was just like, man, if I could play for a coach like him, that would be lovely. And then I ended up playing for him. So I was like, wow, this should be interesting. And as time went on, it's like he makes you want to play better. Cause he's very cool, calm, and collective. So it's like, man, it's only right to be able to play. It's only right to play good for a man like him.
We are waiting for our next question. Jamie Sal with our next question. Jamie?
Jamel, just wondering, have you heard from any of your former Coco teammates, or anybody back in Coco? Like, has your phone been blowing up, and do you feel that love and support? Because I got to be honest with you, we talked with Coach Wilkinson and one of your former teachers out there too, and they're just so proud of you.
Oh my goodness, I feel like everybody was trying to contact me. Like it got to a point I literally had to just put my phone down so I could at least get done whatever I need to get done, because it just kept going off from social media to them calling, texting. I was just like, whew, I'm feeling overwhelmed right now.
Next question will come from Jade Mallard of the Amateur Athletic Union.
What does it mean for you to be able to make history? I mean, if you guys are to win at home, that's something that's never been done before. So what specifically does that mean for you and your career?
I mean, it just leaves behind like a legacy, not only for like just in the Tampa area, but from just football history, because we doing something that has never been done. So for me to be a part of this, it's like a miracle.
We are waiting for our next question. Next question is from John Shearer. John?
Hey, how you doing today, Jamal?
I'm doing good. What about you?
I'm doing all right, dealing with the blizzard up here in Pennsylvania, but I'm doing all right. I wanted to ask you about stopping Tyreek Hill. I'm sure you've got this question many times, but he obviously went off for a record-setting day. How do you go about stopping a guy like that, in addition to everybody else that you have to stop? Thank you.
Well, I'm just whatever Coach Bowles call. I'm just gonna play the call, and whatever technique the call has me doing, I have to do it to my best ability.
Thank you. We're waiting for our next question. Next question will come from John Romana of the Tampa Bay Times.
Hey, Jamel. You guys began the season with NFL.com ranking you 32nd in the league in secondary. You are now finishing the season having beaten Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and going against Patrick Mahomes. Could you just talk about that journey of trying to make names for yourselves and have people understand just how good the secondary is, even though it was as young as it was?
I mean, yeah, when they ranked us 32nd, we kind of took it personal. We were like, wow, like out of 32 teams, we really like we in last place. So it gave us a natural chip on our shoulder. So all the whole season, we want to like prove to them that we're actually good, even though we're young, but that we still can get the job done. So granted, like throughout the season, we had our ups and downs, but we finally like can't together toward the end of the season. So like to remind people that yeah, we're like even though we're young, we're still able to make plays and be a good secondary.
Next question will come from Jason Alex Fleming of the Florida Sun. Jason?
I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Yep,
How you doing, Mr. Dean?
I'm doing good. What about you?
Oh man, it's a beautiful day. I'm glad to ask you a question. You know this Kansas City team. First quarter, secondary was lit up for 203 yards with Tyreek Hill. I'm sure there's another plan involved. Um, is the secondary of the Buccaneers going to be more aggressive, or are you guys going to pick your poison and just variate amongst wide receivers and tight ends?
Well, it's just whatever Coach Bowles calls, that's how we're gonna play it.
Next question will come from Spencer Shanman. Spencer?
Hey, how's it going? Jamal, Spencer Shanman from The Last Resort. Leading up to this big game, obviously, a lot of football on your mind. What are you doing during these days leading up to the Super Bowl to kind of get football off your mind? Are you watching any TV shows? What has been your routine leading up to the game?
You said other than football?
Other than football, obviously football is the main priority, but other than football, is there anything else you're doing to prepare?
I mean, I've been getting massages, stretching, make sure my body feels as good as possible. And then if I get a little downtime, I start like working on learning Spanish. So that's pretty much it.
We are waiting for our next question. Next question will come from Grace Remington. Grace?
Hey, Jamel. I just heard that last part about learning Spanish and wanted to follow up on that. What are you using, like the app Duolingo or books or what? And is this brand new?
No, I've been learning since last year of March. So I bought a Spanish textbook, like a Spanish ebook, on my phone, so I could like get so I could build a foundation with like grammar and like how like in sentence structure. So I started off with that. Then I started like getting audiobooks. So that once I started doing like other research, like ways of like the learning. They say you gotta learn by immersion. So I try like to set myself up like to be around much Spanish as possible. So I got my TV in Spanish, my phone is in Spanish, and then I take the time to have an audio book so I can work my speech. Granted, it's still slow, but it's coming along. And what else do I do? Oh, and I listen to Spanish music as well.
Next question will be with Josh Allen from the Bucs Report.
Hey, Jamel, how are we doing here?
Good.
I just want to ask you the progression of the secondary from last year. You guys have grown together. You're all very young. Communication was one of the biggest things you guys talked about coming into the offseason, into the regular season, and having it allow you to play your positions more freely and be able to freelance and make more turnovers. Where do you think you guys are at that point in your careers, and how does it affected your play on the field?
I mean, I still feel like we still working to get there, but our communication has gotten better to a point where we all are in sync majority of the time. But granted, we still have our little incidents where we go back and forth with each other, but we're just young and stubborn at that time. So we got better.
As a reminder to media, we have 10 minutes left in this availability. And as of now, we're waiting for our next question. Next question will come from John Romano of the Tampa Bay Times. John?
Hey, everywhere else on this team, there are veterans. You got Gronk and Brady and AB on offense and JPP on the defensive line and Levante at linebacker. The secondary has nobody that falls in that veteran category. I'm just curious how you guys cope with ups and downs of a season. I mean, who do you lean on? Do you go to the older guys for advice, or do you sort of stick with each other to work it through yourselves?
I mean, we lean on each other, and then we have our position coach who know we don't have like veterans, so he try to be like that vet for us, just like to keep our head straight, because he once played in the league as one of the top corners in it. So he like the fact that we know that he can relate to us, so we just listen to him and just take it for like a grain of salt.
Next question will come from Philip Schwegler. Philip?
Hey, Jamel, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, how you doing today, man? Hey, I just want to ask, can you speak on like the chemistry of the defense and how you guys have been able to be so opportunistic during the postseason and the regular season?
Oh, well, I mean, once we got to the playoffs, our mindset was once we get to the playoffs, it's only our goal is the Super Bowl. Like, we're not selling for nothing less. Cause like if you get into the first, second, or third round, you lose, it'll be for nothing. So it's like if we're gonna start this, we gotta just go all the way through. So that's been our mindset the whole time in the playoffs.
We are waiting for our next question. Next question will come from Doug Kidd.
Hey, Jamel. When was the first time that you met Tom Brady? What was that interaction like? And how much time did you actually get to spend with him this season, with all the COVID protocols and everything?
The first time I met Tom was over the summer when we was like shouting on receivers. And when the first time I met him, that was the same day I met Gronk too. And I was starstruck. Like, I could not believe that the guy I grew up watching win Super Bowl was right here in front of me, shaking my hand. Like, I couldn't believe it. And then like we was able to spend like most of the summer with each other. Like every time we went out there with shadow receivers, and then the fact that we still talk at times in the locker room. So that first is encounter, man, I had to tell everybody about that one.
Next question will be from Alvin Whitney of CNN Sports. Alvin?
Hey, Jamel, pardon my dogs in the background. You guys have been the king of the takeaways over the last part of the season. What's the mindset and the approach of the secondary to try and control this passing game of the Chiefs?
I mean, the mindset is we got to get as many turnovers as possible because we want to win a turnover ratio. And most times, in most games, whoever defense win the turnover ratio, that's who most likely win the game. So we've been trying to make a big emphasis on turnovers throughout the whole playoffs.
We are waiting for our next question.
No, just waiting for the next question.
Next question will come from Alvin Whitney of CNN Sports.
Jamel, I apologize. Can I ask you that same question again? I put my dogs away. They pretty much destroyed it. I heard them in the background. Again, what the mindset and approach of the secondary to try and slow down this Chiefs passing game?
Oh, well, our mindset is to get as many turnovers as possible because whichever team wins the turnover ratio, that's who most likely have the best chance of winning the game. So that's been our mindset throughout the whole playoffs.
We are at time for today's media availability with Jamel Dean. Thank you, Jamel, and thank you for all the media who participated.
You're welcome.